Well, good evening. This is Kash Jackson, Restoring Freedom, and I want to give you guys a post-Standing Rock debrief for my kind of things that I saw there moving forward, and just a little piece of information I know. And if you guys have questions, you guys can ask those questions of me. So myself and Alan and Ariana, we all made it back safely. Praise the Lord, because the roads were pretty rough getting out of there. And, oh, shoot, sorry. Whoops. Here comes some of my crew right now. All right, so pros and cons, I guess. Stupid thing. So the pros of what I saw being out there. Obviously, having several thousand of my brothers and sisters come out there was awesome. Now, if you guys don't know, I didn't have anything to do with the organization, organizing and bringing veterans out there. I think whatever part I did play, hopefully it was just inspiring people to come out, to get off their ass and come out there. But I damn sure didn't tell anybody to show up out there without some extreme cold weather gear. I'll tell you that. You know, man. But I was proud that so many people came out there. We had thousands of people come out, brothers and sisters from all over poured in out there, and they really, really, really wanted to be a part of it, and they were, okay? They were in the context that there was a resounding message that was sent to that company, to the state of North Dakota, and to this nation that veterans, even though they're post-military service, they've got something to say. And I think that they said it. To me, that was a message that they said. They said, and they can correct me if I'm wrong here, but they said, we're not going to put up with this shit. We're not going to put up with this stuff that's occurring all over this country, and we're sick and tired of it. And we're going to do something about it. And they had the opportunity. They went out there. And a lot of issues, some comms break down. You guys know, if you break down communication, if comms go away, that's a recipe for disaster. And unfortunately, that happened. Comms broke down. Communication, the line of communication degraded, and before you know it, it was just one gigantic mess, and was what it was. You know what I mean? I wasn't anywhere in that chain of command. I wasn't plugged into that. I didn't have anything to do with it. So I was just trying to take care of people the best that I could. And but after speaking with a bunch of them, I have no doubt that veterans are willing to do it again, time and time again, if need be. They're willing to venture out in this country and address the constitutional and human rights infringements that we're so pissed off about. You know, people tell me, Kash, don't be so angry. Don't come across so angry. That is a very difficult thing to ask of somebody who gave 20 years of their life to have their children taken from them. Okay? I gave this country 20 years of my life to have my own freedom of speech used against me when I exercise my freedom of speech to speak out against the court system, and they use my children as a weapon against me. So it's very difficult for me not to be angry when I see people being oppressed and tyrannized and intimidated, the same that they tried to do to me. It pisses me off. It just does. And I convey that emotion. I'm not going to hide it from you. I'm not going to hide who I am and what I'm feeling. Because so many people feel the same way I do. And I saw that in these veterans' eyes when they came out there. They are angry. They are upset that their service, their sacrifices, are being shit upon. So to me, And let me say something to the other veterans too, who, and those in North Dakota as well. You called myself and these other veterans a disgrace. You called us a disgrace to our country. You said that these aren't even real veterans. Who the fuck are you to decide what is a real and what isn't a real fucking vet? Let me ask you that one. You know what I mean? Shame on you. Number one, we served to protect the Constitution, right? Did we not? So does it just mean that my opinion or somebody else's opinion has to match yours for that to be a constitutional right? I thought that the Constitution and what we're talking about here was the ability for us to exercise all of those rights freely without fear of intimidation or being tyrannized by a government force or anybody else. That's what I thought that I was serving for. I don't know what the fuck you thought you were serving for, because if it was to serve to make sure everybody agreed with you, then maybe you should take your ass to China or somewhere else, because that's not what I was serving for. I'll tell you that right now. So for you to condemn your brothers and sisters and call them, not even real veterans, I'll tell you this, fuck you. That's what I think about you. You can kiss my ass. I'm proud of my military service. I'm proud of what I accomplished. And I know the men and women I talk to, they're proud of their service. And they should be. They signed on that dotted line when nobody else wanted to. They went and they deployed. Many of these guys are combat veterans. I'm not a combat vet. Okay, I never went into combat. I served all my time inside submarines and then a variety of other tours, but that doesn't make my sacrifices any less than anybody else's. So you're going to see a lot more of this. I'm going to tell you that right now. Standing Rock is an opportunity. So whether or not that pipeline goes through is irrelevant. And please don't take this the wrong way. This is what I mean by that. Because we already know there's pipelines running all through this country. We know that. We know that oil is so prominent in this country. We know that as well. A lot of you guys think we went out there to oppose this fucking pipeline. We went out there to oppose the oppression of people. We want freedom in this country, genuine and true freedom. And I think that we have Standing Rock is the starting point for something so much greater in this country than what we've ever known. Something that we've envisioned and many of us feel in our hearts that could be attained if we're up to the task. If we're up to the task of pressing forward, breaking down these barriers, not allowing us to be so divided as people. For example, I met with a man who threatened physical harm. He wanted to whip my ass. He was one of the locals from up there in North Dakota. He wanted to whip my ass. And I took him up on his offer. I called his bluff. I said, bring your ass on down here to Denny's in Bismarck. And I'm sitting right here. Well, kudos to the guy. He came on down. But you know what happened? We didn't settle our dispute with our fist. We could have. If that's what needed to be done, we could have done that. But thankfully, we're able to sit down and have a civil conversation with no violence. And he still didn't agree with me and why I was there at the end of the day, but that's okay. We were still able to open up the lines of communication, and he was willing to come down there, and we sat down and we talked like men should. And I think he might have a different perspective of me now. He might not agree with me, but he has a little bit different perspective, I believe. And I only did that because I don't take too well to being threatened. So if somebody threatens me, you know what? I'll just give them the opportunity, and that is what it is. That's who I am. But back to my main point is that Standing Rock, there's an opportunity for us to do something really great in this country. There's an opportunity for First Nations people to do something really great in this country to better their own lives, to better that of their people on their reservations. I'm not going to go into great detail about some of the things that I saw and some things that made me mad, but they know what I'm talking about. They know exactly what I'm talking about. There is division amongst some of the leaders. It's all over social media. They have division there. Just like our government has division. They have corruption just like we have corruption. They do things that the people don't agree with just like we have. You see, because at the end of the day, we're all still people. We're not so self-righteous as, to believe that because we come from a particular place or background that we're better than somebody else or, beyond sin or corruption or anything else. But Standing Rock, I believe, this is what I believe. I believe that if us as a country can look at Standing Rock, look at the pros that have came out of there. Don't focus on the negative. Don't focus on these idiots who came in and with bad intentions. But focus on what really happened there. Unprecedented things happened in this country. History has been made and is being made currently in Standing Rock. It's no secret that First Nations tribes and nations warred against one another, killed one another. It wasn't all it wasn't all just peace amongst them. You know what I mean? They warred. They were warring people. Many of them. They fought. They killed one another. They raped and pillaged and, that was life back then. Let's just be real about it. Did we come in here from Europe and somewhere else and wreak havoc in here? Yeah, we did. That happened all across the world. It did. It has happened everywhere in Russia and China and Europe and Africa. It's still going in many of these countries. Still ongoing. War and violence has been a part of, human beings for as long as we've been on this earth. Yeah, I like what Johnny says. It wasn't all rainbows and unicorns. It's not. But for that many of us to go out there, for that many people from so many different backgrounds to go out there and be willing to support, and I'm not saying rape was a native thing I'm just saying it's part of human beings, okay? I'm saying it's humans worldwide, globally. Evil is part of humans. It's just a part of the world. That's what I'm saying. Oh, I keep getting this stupid pop-up on my phone. But look, things going forward from here, we have a great opportunity. Standing Rock has showed us that we can stand together as human beings, putting aside our differences to accomplish goals that benefit all of humanity, that benefit our country. These people that, they poke fun of us, because, we're driving vehicles and we're using petroleum-based products. And yet, many of these same people enjoy to hunt. They enjoy fishing like I do. They enjoy the outdoors like I do. And so you hurl these, you ridicule us because we want change. I don't want to have to drive a vehicle that's solely reliant upon a petroleum-based product. I don't want to have to heat my home or run my electricity or anything else. Because we have the ability to move beyond these things and give our children something better. Why not? Why would you not? you know, you call people like that, and I have to, you know, you call them a hippie or a, you know, whatever. What is wrong with loving the world that you live in and you want to pass that down to your children better than what you found it, better than what it was given to you? Why is that a bad thing? And don't tell me you don't, because I know some of you do. I mean, you have these favorite places you like to take your kids swimming to. You know, you have your favorite swimming hole. I know I did as a boy growing up. You got your favorite fishing spot you like to go to with your dad. You got your favorite backpacking place you like to go to. Why not try and preserve that and pass that on? Much better than what we found it. Why not invest our time and energy into finding things to benefit humanity, to benefit our children, to benefit future generations? What's the point in dying for your country if you're not going to leave them a healthy country to live in? You know what I mean? You know, and that one's pointed at my brothers and sisters who went and fought to defend the Constitution. We got to have these conversations. And hurling insults and stuff all over my page at me because this is my stance and this is what I'm fighting for, what is that accomplishing? Nothing. Because I'm still going to lay down and sleep just fine at night. I got thick skin. But I think once we go forward from here, if we take advantage of this, if we can set apart our differences and focus on our similarities. I got a lot of relatives now all over this country, a lot of relatives. And I'm very proud to have met every single one of them. I'm very proud to have had the opportunities that I've had to stand alongside them. And so many people are fighting for that, and they want that. If you guys want that, be willing to set aside your anger, set aside whatever pain and hurt you have in your heart. And it's hard, I know, but that's an accomplishment when you do it. That's a win for you as a person when you can do it. You set that aside, just like that man did when me and him sat down in Denny's and had a conversation. We had to set aside our differences and our anger towards one another and have an open discussion. And I think he probably knows now that I wasn't out there to cause strife or angst in his communities. But that man's got to be bold enough to address, like, when my two friends were called prairie niggers right outside that same Denny's. You know, Bismarck, North Dakota isn't, you know, this super Christian righteous place. No place here in this country is. Hatred exists and anger exists. And I think most of that is hurt. It's pain that these people are carrying inside themselves. That they feel the need to say something like that to really good people. You know, I met some great damn people that I'm super proud to have met. And they really just, they filled my spirit and my soul to have been able to spend time with them and love on one another. You know what I mean? To be loved by them and to share love with them. We need that as human beings. We need that. I'm glad that they arrested the masked guy. Ace, I don't know, man. You know, it's a good question. I haven't seen any facts on that. I haven't seen anything factual. I've heard those claims, but I haven't seen anything in writing. And that's something we got to be careful of. You know, we hear a lot about what's happening, and these claims are made, these allegations are made. Again, corruption exists everywhere. But, okay, and this is my example to you guys. I live in the state of Illinois. We have elected representatives here. It is no secret that the state of Illinois and the government here has been corrupt for as long as this state has been a part of this nation. Ace, it's a combination of the two, my friend. It honestly is. It honestly is. Because, like in the state of Illinois, a corrupt government. There are elected officials, and they speak for the people. But does that prevent them from taking bribes? Does it prevent them from making deals with companies and corporations that we wouldn't agree with? No. We bust these bastards all the time. You know? How many of these idiots have we locked up here from the state of Illinois that got busted for doing some crooked shit? I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't have all the answers. Nobody is without fault. No group of people. Nobody. There's no group of people who are without fault. So we can't be so quick to point the finger, because we all contribute to the problems or the solutions in this country. So we can take our time pointing out everybody's faults and where they're wrong, or we can try and set aside those differences and focus to heal our country, to do good things, to not attack one another, to not dismantle one another, because we don't know where everybody comes from. We don't know what they've endured through their lives. Maybe we could show a little sympathy and empathy towards our fellow man and say to ourselves, well, you know what? I might not know this person's story. Maybe I'm only seeing a small piece. I think if we can do that, if we can be more responsible about that and not be so quick to judge people, that we can really make a difference. All of us, every one of us here. If you're willing to do that, we can make that happen. I don't mince words, very much, I don't think. Well, Steve, that's what I'm saying, man. Steve, that's saying Ace is a douche. That's exactly what I'm talking against, man. To not do that. We all carry some anger and hurt in our hearts, all of us. And we're quick to defend and attack. We're not so quick to care for one another, are we? How many of you guys are Christians or believe in Christ's teachings? How many of you? Be honest. A bunch. I'm no perfect Christian, I'll tell you that right now. But I would rather take some time to sit down and listen to somebody that even I don't really like or agree with that pissed me off. I was perfectly fine throwing down with old boy a couple days ago. Perfectly fine with it. But the better man in me said, you know what? You need to put that aside and sit down and have a conversation with the man and find out where he's coming from. And come to find out, his brother had died in combat. And he's carrying that. I can see it all over his face. The man was carrying a ton of hurt and pain in his heart. And he expressed that by verbally attacking me and threatening me. But if I just would have went in guns blazing, you know what I mean? Never would have got down through that, would we? Never would have found out where this man was coming from. And he felt that I was disrespecting what his brother died for by inverting the American flag. And I can see that. I can see where he was coming from. Again, we had to agree to disagree on U.S. flag code, and whether or not I was right or wrong, but we move forward. Let's use Standing Rock for what it is. It's not just about a pipeline. It's not just about a pipeline. It's about setting a precedence for our country to make it something greater than what we've ever known. To really, really, and truly be free people. Really be free people, you know what I mean? Free from the hurt and the anger that we carry in our hearts, and to hold our leaders accountable. So whether you live on a reservation, whether you live, in the state of Illinois or any other of the 50 states, we put leaders in place that are going to love us and take care of us and really be sincere about what it is they want to do. Tony, I disagree with you, man. I disagree with you that there will never be that freedom. And one thing that I've always told my junior sailors in the Navy is this. The man who says he can and the man who says he can't are both correct. You just got to choose which one of those men you want to be. And I'm not one of those men who says he can't. I'm going to find a way. And I hope that you guys are willing to do the same thing. I hope that you'll be a man or woman that says you can, and we'll find a way. I'm proud of Standing Rock, and I'm proud of what's going on there. A lot of problems, a lot of complexities, but it's opening up something so much greater for this country than what we've ever known. And I hope that we take advantage of that as people, and I hope you guys can share this message. That's all I got. I'm going to go spend time with my lady, my Marina, that I love very much. You guys want to say hi? Come here, say hi. Get over here, say hi. She's so silly. That's my baby. You guys don't know Marina. This is her. She loves you guys too. She makes me balance my time with y'all and her though. Tell me hello.
Hey.
She's new to the live feed. Cat's got her tongue. So, anyways, you guys have a blessed night. We're gonna go settle down and we're gonna watch Netflix.
Yeah.
We're gonna go Netflix and chill. We're gonna go watch some Netflix. No, seriously, we're really gonna watch Netflix. That's all I got. Yeah, she's my queen. That's right, she sure is. So, love you guys. You guys have a blessed night. Be safe. Love and take care of one another. And tomorrow morning, wake up and let's do some patriotic shit. This is Kash Jackson and Miss Marina signing off.